though.
No, not theater things, but just in general.
Looks like we're coming in dark. I don't know. I'm not seeing anything come through. Hello. Oh, yes. There we are. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's workout. So, we are getting back into theatrical character work. So, if you haven't been with us before on one of these, oh boy, it's fun. And we are going to go ahead and just dive right in with Brett. Brett, go ahead and give us our first cold read.
Cool beans.
Quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye, any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. Uh, they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
I'm gonna go with Avalon.
Oh, sick. Okay. Quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have the manner for. You looked like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. Uh, they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks. Who else said that they were like towards the front of the line? James.
Quiet. Squawks be warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. They looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks. Did anybody else have to go quickly?
Yes, voices by Mike. The other Mike.
Oh.
Voices by Michael.
All right, you're up next.
Sounds good. Can you guys hear me all right? I was messing with my gain earlier. All right, cool.
Quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. They looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
Right. Justin Taylor Luna.
You hit me with the full name. Thank you. Wow. Yes. Am I still? Hold on. Yes, I am. I was double checking. Okay. Quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye, any beast they don't have the manner for. Ha 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 ha! You look like a scared babe. Ha ha ha! You should have seen your face, mate. They look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks. Oh, I got a popcorn. Roddy.
Quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye, any beast they don't have the manner for.
You look like a scared babe. You should have seen the look on your face, mate. They They looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks. Hmm. Jamie.
Who?
BVJ. My apologies.
Quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye, any beast they don't have the manner for. You looked like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. They looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks. How about shapeshifter?
Okay. Quiet! Skulks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye, any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. They they look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks. Maybe Amanda?
Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. Surround ye and swarm ye, any beast they don't have the manner for. Babe, you should have seen your face, mate. They looked like they didn't notice us and they disappeared. Wait, methinks.
Let's do Cassidy.
Quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye, any beast they don't have the manner for. Sorry, this is... No. Don't apologize.
Just give us your best. You got this.
Like a scared babe. Should have seen your face, mate. They looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks. Never done an accent before. I have never done an accent before. Let's
No
go
worries.
with... Let's go with Caitlin next.
Move it over so I can't see y'all's faces while I'm doing it. Quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround and swarm any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. They, looked, they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way. No one else said that they needed to really like skedaddle, right? Just making sure, being considerate. Okay, let's go, Brian.
Hello. Okay, here goes. Ugh. Quiet! Squawks be wild birds, as vile as cruel as they be. They'll be surrounded ye, and swarm ye, any beast they don't have manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. Uh, they, they, uh, they look like they didn't notice and disappeared. That way me thinks. We'll go with Michael.
Alrighty then. Let me just put myself in the order here. You know, with how many Michaels are coming here, I might have to just change my name to Carmichael permanently, just to differentiate myself. All right.
Quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. you should have seen your face, mate. They looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right. Faith, are you reading with us tonight?
I can try, I guess.
Go for it.
I've never done an accent ever.
It's never too early to try.
Okay.
And if you can't do it, you can't do it. It's fine. Try something else. Just have some fun.
Okay. This is still the cold read, right? Sorry, I stepped out for a bit.
That is correct.
All right. Quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround you and swarm you. Any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. They look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way me thinks. Who hasn't
Okay.
gone? Sorry.
So there is Andrew and Alex.
Alex.
All right.
All right.
Wow, Andrew, that was prophetic. You are going dead last.
He wanted it. He got it.
Okay.
But did he see it?
Quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround you and swarm you. Any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. Oh, they look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right. I assume you're going for me next, Alexander. No.
Best for last.
All right. Quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround you and swarm you. Any beast they don't have a manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. Uh, they they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
Okay, I'm here. I promise. I'm just choking in the background, apparently. Alrighty then. So I didn't miss anybody, right? We're all here. I'm gonna post the reading order again in the chat. There's a lot of people, so let's get to it. And we already started late. So let's talk about this character. What are the easy things that we can tell from the directions that we need to keep in mind about this character?
They're a weasel.
Okay.
They're weasel. They're nasally. They're mischievous. Their
Nasally.
accent falls some definitely like they definitely have like your standard sort of piratey accent, which is usually either Cockney, Australian, or somewhere around the UK region.
We can also tell they're very experienced, which is valuable. They're not going to be like young and messing up all the time. They're more familiar with things than that.
Something I overlooked was them being, out of whatever set of people they're with, they're the quietest.
Ah, there we go. They're usually the quietest of the three.
So when they speak, it leaves a great impression, probably.
Yeah, real quick, since we skipped it over, voiceover or voice under, what microphone technique are we using here?
Over.
Over.
Voiceover, definitely.
Over. Yes, because
Especially
your
if it's a
voice.
character.
What was that?
Especially since it's a character.
Yes. So, voiceover technique just denotes being really upfront on the microphone and being really present. So that
excuse
no,
me.
don't close.
Haven't you said that all scripts are character scripts?
Wait, did I?
I mean, she's
did
not
I
wrong.
say the otherwise? So I guess in my
Amanda said
description,
it.
or it was when I was talking about the definition of voiceover, right? That was my mistake.
Yeah.
Okay. What I meant to say is theatrical scripts. Yes, you are correct. All scripts are character scripts. It's just with theatrical scripts where you are present as a character in the scene, and everything is like pointed specifically on you in that scene. If you're helping to bring that to life, then yeah, you'd be using voiceover techniques. So that just means you're going to be upfront. You're going to be as loud as you want to be, because you are the main focus. Otherwise, you'd be using voice under technique where your character or your voice is not necessarily the main focus, where you're trying to get people to pay attention to something that's happening on screen in front of them. There's various other places where that technique is used. I could break that down further at a different time. Unfortunately, right now, we got to rush it just a tad. But yes, voice over, that is correct. So, getting back to the character, excuse me. What else? What are some of the easy things that we can tell from this character from either the description or from the way that they speak?
I mean, they're fairly laid back, at least out of the three of them, because it says choosing to relax and let chaos ensue.
Okay.
But they're also the most reckless, like in the first line. So it's kind of like they're an instigator, and they kind of throw the chips on the table and let people go crazy over it, like they're the
I think they're
mastermind, the puppet master, if you will.
Yeah, they're very much an enabler of
an enabler.
chaos.
Yeah, yes. They
Piggyback.
foster and nurture the chaos, and then they set it free, and they watch what happens.
Piggybacking off of that, they have a sense of humor, considering the middle line.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Prankster sort of vibe for sure.
Yeah, they're also like this character. They seem to like to joke around since it says in their description when they're like, and also in the second line, it feels like they're like that character who's like this clown, but actually has a lot of wisdom. One of those characters.
Okay.
Right, like they've been in some situations where they're on the fence, right? People never know what they're going to actually do. Like if they say that they're going to go like just completely annihilate this tavern or something, like people are going to wonder if they're actually going to go annihilate this tavern or not. Like they might just be joking, but they might also be gearing up to go do it. So they're a wild card. Woo!
Okay, so unpredictable.
Too long didn't read. Yes. Thank you.
They at least do care about, I assume it's one of the other two that's in their group, because he is given the warning to someone.
Okay. So there is some care there. Sure.
I think that might be, I don't know if it's care for the crew or care for the craft, but again, like
It could also be
pirating.
self-preservation too, We are all right next to each other, and you're being loud. You're going to attract something, and I will die. No.
It's
I don't.
very true. It's
I don't
very
like
true. Yeah.
B, but we're on the same team, so let's get our stuff together.
Although I have some thoughts about the actual script itself, but we'll get to the that later on in the analysis. But first, what we're doing is we're getting everything possible about this character, even stuff that may seem a little bit out there. Again, if anything doesn't seem to fit for you, if it doesn't seem to work with this character or align with how they would speak, then you would eliminate that. But until we know, or until we have a really really complete idea of that, let's just get everything down. Does anybody else have anything else?
I feel like if this character would be a mentor figure to someone, they'd be like those kind of mentor figures who's a bit of a joke, like Splinter from Rise of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like they like in this like the second line really like the first and second line give me vibes of this of them being possibly a mentor figure to someone. But yeah, in
Okay.
like yeah, in very joke way, in a non-serious way.
Okay.
Do we I know it's not given in the text of these sides or anything. Do we know if this is for like an animated series or a game or a movie? Like do we have any sense for its purpose?
This is an audiobook character.
Oh, okay.
How dare you? I quit.
Books are stupid.
Oh no, you're a voice actor. How dare I make you read?
Hey, don't let LeVar Burton hear you say that.
Sneaking books into workouts like sneaking vegetables into dinner.
Yeah, exactly.
Get back here and finish your audiobook right now.
I skip the audiobook workout and then you pull this.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, this is character focused, okay? Don't give me
This
that.
is.
This is theatrical, okay? Theatrical is fun. Theatrical is fun.
Did anyone use the word infamous to describe them?
No.
Infamous.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like again, pirates are generally, you know,
Yeah,
bit
but
a
how
bit
do
on
you
the
rogue?
So the thing is you could use that, but how does that affect the way that they present themselves or your performance?
Yeah, I don't know if that carries anything more than morally ambiguous does.
Yeah, morally
fair.
ambiguous
I
is
guess
really
they
bad
kind of
direction,
do.
in my opinion.
Right. Yeah, I guess that kind of lends itself to the unpredictability of it, and yeah, they tie in. So I just like that word better.
You like
It's a great
infamous
thing to
other than
keep in
unpredictability.
mind.
Yeah,
To be honest, I'd say that Infamous does carry something that those other ones don't, but it's not something that's really specified here. Infamous shows that people know you, and when people know you, you're going to get used to being known, and that will affect your personality. But that's not really specified in this script.
Well, and I think the stuff that we've already determined goes against that even. Since we know that they're the quiet one and they're sort of enabling others' chaos more than anything, that implies to me that they're more of a hidden force than an upfront one.
They fly under the radar.
So rather than being infamous, they're the one letting other people be infamous.
They're like a pirate kingmaker.
Yeah.
Again, yeah, like the puppet master, right? Like, you're not watching the
Yeah.
puppet master, you're watching the puppets. Yeah. Okay. Fair.
Okay. Okay. Anything else that we could tell about them? Yeah, so one of the things that I do want to kind of pick your guys' brains about, it says, let's see, they display a menacing and careless nature that carries a morally ambiguous tone in their voice. What in the world could that possibly mean? Like,
It's
if you could try and define that, what would it be? What is a morally ambiguous tone?
Tim Curry, Treasure Island.
Okay.
Or, you can go the Treasure Planet route and have the cook from that one. Because he
Long
did a
John
great
Silver.
job,
Either
too.
way, it's Long John Silver.
Yeah.
It's funny because both of those are actually it's essentially the same character.
Yeah. But, menacing
Almost as
and
if they're essentially adapting the same book.
Yeah.
menacing and careless, morally ambiguous. they can be making these jokes and you don't know if they are a threat or not.
Okay. I think we might have touched on that when we came up with unpredictable as a descriptor for the character. That's kind of it, but I can see what you mean. It's not like this outwardly loud unpredictability. It's more of just this subtle kind of, are you serious right now? Unpredictability.
Well, and
if that makes some sense.
Like
to the point of the
Smarmy.
morally,
Smarmy. That's a good one. Yeah.
I think non-committal might be a good descriptor for the morally ambiguous tone, in the sense that it doesn't necessarily sound like they believe in anything they're saying. Like they might say a genuine threat and you have no idea if it's real, because they don't sound like they mean it ever.
Yeah, you don't know if it's real, but then again, at the same time, you could probably get a rude awakening with a knife to your back.
Yeah. And I think that
Okay.
the vibe I get is that this character might even say and do heroic things sometimes. And
Oh,
you
okay.
never know if they actually mean that either. Or if there's some sort of like self-serving motivation behind it.
Okay.
So basically, they're an anti-hero.
They could be.
Potentially.
Yeah,
I
there's
have
the potential.
a note on this character that I'm deriving from the script rather than the direction.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if we want to wait for that until we get to script interpretation.
No, I mean we're coming up with the character right now from whatever
Okay.
we can.
Based on the last line and a little bit of what's in the description, I would say this person is not the authority.
Okay.
Specifically, like if this is a pirate ship, they are not the captain, they are not the first mate, they are more likely to be the swabby.
Not
I was thinking
the
that
authority.
too.
And they probably don't. They may not want that leadership position either. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
that's
it's true.
they kind of just want to cruise. They want to coast and be able to do their shenanigans.
Yeah, they'll let other people take the fall. You're responsible. You can take the fall for me, mate. Something like that.
Is complacent a right word? Now I'm just throwing a whole
Oh
bunch of
no,
words out there.
no.
But
I don't think complacent is what this character is like.
No.
Complacent doesn't seem like a solid description for this character.
Complicit, baby.
Maybe complicit, yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and start talking about the words, the scenes that are going on themselves. So what's happening with that first line? What are some brief descriptions that are happening with the first line?
They are in a bush, and
They are in a bush.
I'm going somewhere with it.
No, I'm just repeating what you said. You said they were in a bush. Okay, they're in a bush.
Right. Yes. So they're in a bush. One of the other characters peek their head out, and then it's the comedic them dragging the head back into the bush because they're trying to avoid being seen by some kind of animal.
Okay.
Or the birds, like they would go on to talk about.
My head kind of went to, that scene from Fellowship of the Ring where they're traveling and where Merry and Pippin set up that fire in the middle of the night and start like cooking breakfast, and Frodo freaks out and he's like, "Put it out, you fools! Put it out!" Starts stomping it out. That's kind of the vibe I get from that. Is like they're being loud and ignorant, and he's like, "No, we're gonna die. You need to stop."
Okay.
I think that that's the tone that he is going for in that line, so that is mostly accurate. I'd say based on context, he's actually fucking with them. But yeah, in that moment, he is grabbing someone's attention and saying, "Be quiet, your life is on the line." And playing up these squawks, which I imagine to be like someone seeing seagulls for their first time, and he's just making up a bunch of stuff about them being terrible, evil creatures.
Like a medieval explorer.
Yeah. If we could give that first line just this overall emotional tone, what are some emotional words that you can think of that is kind of our goal for that first line?
Fear.
Okay, fear.
Caution.
Panic.
Danger.
Danger, Will
Robinson.
Robinson. Danger.
Ah, great minds think alike.
Probably
But
frustration.
small minds rarely
Okay,
differ.
frustration.
Frustration, but I also kind of feel like they're kind of being like a little imp. You're like, oh, but they're doing this. Ooh.
So a little mischievous.
A little mischievous.
Mischief.
Like they mean well, they're being serious, but they're kind of leaning into that that mischievousness. You know, we're like I'm kind of like leaning towards the idea that, you don't really believe everything they're saying.
Knowledgeable also. They're leaning on their reputation in order to pull this off.
Okay, so would you say a little bit of an authoritarian kind of like they're trying to be an authority on this subject?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So then let's go ahead and give line 2 some general emotional tones. What are our goals there for line 2?
The joke has paid off.
Okay.
I didn't
So,
even consider
humor,
that these
fun.
lines might follow one another.
I was going to get to that actually. I was going to get to that, but we'll expound on that a little bit more. Let's just talk about the goal for the second line. You're moving a
Yes.
little bit ahead there.
It sounds sorry. It sounds like like
Just
the
being
joke is paid
observant.
off,
That's a
something
good
that they
thing.
were maybe setting up for a while and sort of
Okay.
anticipating.
Joke payoff.
And
Definitely humor.
yeah, I was gonna say probably annoy the victim of the joke.
So antagonistic?
Yeah.
Here's a fancy way of saying that. Sardonic.
Ho ho ho.
I've never been clear on what sardonic means, to be honest.
Same.
See, I've always taken sardonic to mean that like it's your humor at the expense of others.
Per
Okay.
Google, it's grimly, mocking, or cynical.
Okay, maybe sardonic isn't the right word, but
Mocking and cynical, I could see that.
we could put mocking and cynical in there for sure.
Satisfaction is a word that came to mind. I mean, the
Okay.
joke is paid off, right? Kind of maybe covered that, but
Okay,
self-satisfaction.
yeah, we can put
I'm
self-satisfaction in there.
so good.
Okay. Any other thoughts for line 2? Emotional goals. I think we got a good amount there. Okay. Now for line 3, what are our emotional goals for that line?
Caught in the act, embarrassed, looking for an excuse. I can't think of the word for that. I see this line as
Bluffing.
there you go. Yeah.
Is it that or are they like zoning back into the seriousness of the situation and kind of like refocusing, after the joke? I mean, I know it speaks, to no confidence about what's going on, but is that them being refocused like, "Oh, there's okay, enough jokes, like for real. These things could cause some damage."
Possibly. Well, we can put that down, focusing back up. I don't even know what that would be though. Coming back to reality, sobering up.
Yeah. I don't there's not a word that is coming to my mind.
There's not a word.
It's a single word.
I'm just gonna write down snap back to reality.
Oh, there goes gravity.
Dang it,
You
beat
were
me.
baiting.
Beat
You
me
were
to it.
waiting for someone to do it. My goodness gracious. No.
There goes rabbit.
He choked.
Mom
Where's Mom
spaghetti.
spaghetti?
I hate it
That's
here.
way earlier. That's way earlier.
All right. Any other thoughts? Any
I
other thoughts
mean,
about any of the lines? Any particular ones that maybe we didn't quite hit that you see in them?
did someone already say for this last line, like, not full on embarrassment, but something in that realm?
A little bit
Like,
of shame.
yeah,
I kind of feel
Off
like maybe
balance was what I
Kinda
got.
zoned off a bit.
I kind of feel like
Kinda
this
zoned
might
out.
be somebody more superior has shown up and they're like, okay, where are these warbirds? And he doesn't want to let on that he was messing with everybody.
Oh,
Yeah.
like he has something to
So he's
prove.
like, oh, they disappeared that way.
Yeah, that was my take as well. I want to say though, this could be, you could play the opposite here, since we have no official context, and
Mhm.
say that this could be delivered in a caring way, where maybe he realized he has legitimately frightened someone and they're not getting that it was a joke, and so he says, "Oh no, it's okay, they're gone."
Okay. All right. That's an
Sure.
interesting take. That's an interesting take. I like it. I like it.
interessante. Hmm.
Cheeky. Nice. Nice. Yeah. So one of the things that I find really interesting is that, and you guys have kind of alluded to it as we've been going through and as we've been coming along or coming up with different particular goals that we're trying to go for with this. But who's to say that this is not all the exact same scene, just at different points of it? Like you're running through the same scene. Because there's oftentimes this sort of idea that some people have that each line is a completely disparate and disconnected scene from the previous, when in reality, a well-written scene has a whole range of emotions and expressions that you can have in it, and this could very well be it. Yeah, I actually I was personally going along with Alex's interpretation that this is actually a practical joke. So at the beginning, he's playing it up. You know, the Scratch Nose is making this be as theatrical and as big as possible, trying to scare whoever it is that they're joking. And then, they play off the joke. And then once the person has not gotten the fact that it's a joke, they're like, oh, they left. It's fine. You're okay. Maybe I was actually thinking that that last line could be awkward. It could be Scratch Nose just feeling weird about it. Because normally, maybe Scratch Nose is used to people like getting angry with them for the practical jokes and things like that. It could
Ma-
be them, they just don't expect this kind of reaction as somebody who's genuinely scared.
Yeah,
So,
like he gave
yeah.
up that it was a joke, and they're still taking it seriously. He's
Yep.
like, "Whatever, you're fine. You're fine.
Yep.
They're
Yep.
gone.
Yeah.
Look, they're gone."
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
see what you're going for there.
Absolutely. I mean, not every set of lines that you get from a character are disparate scenes. And in fact, it might be more fun sometimes, and this is just a technique you could use on future, theatrical character auditions, is to play it all as though it were one scene. String it all together, make it make sense, connect the dots in between each one of the lines so that it makes one solid continuous scene. So we have this character's identity. So we have their ideas and stuff like that. One thing I really really want to point out is the nasally voice. So one of the things that you could do is like what I did. You could block off one of your nostrils. That way you get the hint of nasaliness without it being like super nasally. You could pinch off both nostrils, but that's kind of extreme. There are many different ways that you could do it, but do not lose the fact that this character speaks with a nasally voice due to an injury. That is a specific feature of the character of Scratch Nose. Okay?
To
They're
me, that
named
also implies
Scratch
that there
Nose for a
might
reason.
be, yeah. To me, that also implies a scene somewhere else in the book where the injury happens,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's why it's relevant to the character. It's not just
yeah.
fluff. It's a thing that occurs.
Or it was gone over, maybe described that this character was injured on their nose, so that they were always introduced as Scratch Nose. Because
Mhm.
it says that the character's name is Scratch Nose. That's what they call them. So maybe this happened when Scratch Nose was very very young, and it's kind of like been a permanent feature for them throughout their life. But again, one of the main things to not ignore is that nasally tone that needs to be there. Now, whether or not you actually decide to go with an accent is entirely up to you. The voice print is asking specifically for something like that, but if you cannot hold on to an accent for a decent amount of time, then don't push yourself to do so. Don't try because it's eventually going to fail. You're going to have to retake it. It will be disastrous. So don't try to push beyond what you're capable of doing. But I mean, hey, if you can hold on to the accent, go for it and have fun with it. Again, the more involved you are in the scene, the more you feel what your character is doing, and not just mentally, not just emotionally, but physically as well, the better your performance is going to be. So when you guys are up to perform, those of you who have your camera on, I am going to be looking for motion. I'm going to be looking for you to do things that sort of add to this character's sense of space. If you have room to move, use the room to move. Now, before we dive into the script for the directed reads, does anybody have any questions, comments, anything like that about the script that we didn't talk about or that you might want some further clarification on? Awesome. Okay. I expect
Nope.
perfection from all of you. So I'm going to go ahead and post the reading order back up. We're going to go bam. And we're going to start off with Brett. Brett, whenever you're ready, go for it.
You got it.
Quiet, you bilge rats. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye, any beastie they don't have the manner for. What's wrong, lad? You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. They, they look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way methinks.
All right, opening it up. What did you all think?
Love the character that you brought to the character. You always bring great characterizations to the table. The accent was great. Something that I'm curious if you wouldn't mind trying is I feel like each line had the same cadence almost, and they were all said relatively slowly, and that could have been intentional. But try varying up some of the lines, however you see fit. Like, for instance, the "you look like a scared babe," ha ha ha, you should have seen your face. I feel like, one of those could be more off the hip, like, you look like a scared babe, aha. One could be a little quicker, or, something like that. Vary up the speed a little bit. I'd like to.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I think on that second line, just go nuts with it. You seemed really measured for somebody who thought something was really funny.
Also, you had this really slow, even pace throughout the whole thing. I don't think you need to do that. I think you can have fun with that at the very beginning for that first line because it kind of warrants it. You want to paint the picture and scare the person. But for the rest of it, just let loose. You don't have to worry about being at an even pace or anything like that.
Okay.
Going along with that, we can also use more variation in volume, uh, along with pace. You can be louder in some parts and quieter in others. The first line, obviously, you start out by shouting the word quiet, so you have an opportunity there to start big and drop down really quick. Second line can go really big as well. You can make a lot of decisions in there with your volume.
Okay. Cool. Another read.
Quiet, ya bilge-rats. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye, any beastie they don't have the manner for. What's wrong, lad? You looked like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. um, they, they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. Anyway, that way methinks.
All right, opening it up. What y'all think?
This is a really small thing, but my brain decided to focus on it regardless. With the second line, you should have seen your face, mate. Don't be afraid to like truncate that. It doesn't need to be should've. You could just say like shoulda or whatever. You know what I mean? Like you can be a little more casual with that and not focus so much on pronouncing the word specifically. I think the little improvisations are great, but that was one thing that just sort of like lodged in my brain.
Brett, why aren't you laughing out any of that line?
Why am I what?
Why are you not laughing out any of that line? You laugh, say line, then say line.
Like laughing in the line?
Yeah.
Oh,
Or trying to talk over your own laughter.
okay.
Yeah,
I
have
don't
fun
know.
with it. Again, your
Okay.
characters. This is hilarious to you. You live for terrifying, I don't know, small mice. Let's just say that's who you're talking to, since these all
Okay.
seem to be animals, right? It's this tiny little mouse, absolutely terrified of anything that casts a shadow in the sky. And you have just scared the bejesus out of them. You know, if they weren't a white mouse before, they are now, right? Scared the color right out of them. So just relish in that. Just have some fun. Laugh out some of the lines as well. You're totally okay to do that.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else? Let's hear it again.
Full read?
Indeed, full read.
Okay.
Quiet, ya bilge-rats. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye, any beastie they don't have the manner for. What's wrong, lad? You looked like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. They, they look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. I think that way, methinks.
All right, opening it up. What'd you all think of that?
The little ad libs really made your delivery like super fluid and very, very well formed. I think you did an amazing job.
I will say, knowing that this is an audiobook, improvisational like things are not generally, as far as I've heard, are not generally a good thing with audiobooks. Um so I don't know how strictly we want to adhere to that, since it's not in the description or anything.
Fair
Right,
point.
right. Well, so that is very much so true when it comes to landing the job itself. Like when you actually are hired for the gig, whatever is on the page is on the page, right? That is the original artist's work that you were trying to bring to life. When it comes to an audition, you kind of need to do what you need to do to stand out. I would be less strict on that during the audition, but again, that's not to say that that is always the best choice. It just may be a good one to stand apart from the rest of the crowd.
Okay. And I mean, to the other point as well, it sounds great. It adds a lot to the lines doing that, so I think it is a good choice. I was just curious about best practices and stuff.
Yeah, best practices would be in an audition setting, feel free to really express yourself as much as possible because that's where you have the most freedom and creativity. Once you are hired for the work, it is then up to you to bring to life the original writer's intent for what that is. So you should stick with the actual script itself when you have been hired.
Yep, we have John Bailey to thank for that tidbit.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, that's right. You were there for that.
Yeah, I love John. He's so great.
All right. Anybody else? Anything else? Okay. Yeah, I think we got some really strong reads out of you, Brett. So good on you. Let's go ahead and move it right along to Avalon.
Indeed. Give me just a second. I'm gonna adjust things and stand up.
Quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye, any beast they don't have the manner for. You looked like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. uh, they, they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
No notes. Amazing job.
Anybody else? Any thoughts?
I heard no nasal.
Yeah.
That's a character trait. We have to portray that.
We do. I felt it in my face holes by the end there. I was like, that's bad. Well, not bad
Yes,
necessarily, but not what
oh
needs
no,
to be happening.
the face holes are too clear. What have I done? Okay. Anything else? Okay,
I'm
I've
gonna
definitely
need
got.
some sort of quote involving face holes by the end of the day. Thank you very much.
Hey, the server quotes channel is open for any of you. All you need to do is type in the quote and tag the person who said it. It is perfectly fine for you to do so.
I think the exact phrase I used was, I could feel it in my face holes. So if you want that, you can have it.
So, at the end, what were you trying to go for? What was your goal with that last line?
So the sort of way it was in my head was like still coming down from the joke and realizing, oh shit, it's not a joke. It's not a joke. They're gonna actually freak out and
Not a
trying to
joke.
like
Abort,
save
abort.
face and be like, no, we're safe, we're fine.
Okay.
I could have added more panic probably, but
So here's the deal. First off, that's really close to a Dan rule violation. Thank you very much.
You're right. Thank you.
Secondly, you were way too like caring and reassuring instantly if you were coming off of the last one. I'd like to hear more awkwardness. You're stammering and trying to come up with an excuse to assuage this person offhandedly.
Sure. Okay.
So the scene needs to be a bit more like deer caught in the headlights kind of feel.
Yeah.
And I think that could
Okay.
really add to what you're doing here.
Yeah. Like this was the only reaction I could ever have like not anticipated.
Exactly.
Okay. Is that all? Shall I give it another go?
Let's see. Tickling the fingers, double checking with anybody else. Nobody? Anything? All right, that's it. Whenever you're ready, from the top.
Beautiful. Eh.
Quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have the manner for. You looked like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. they, um, they, they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
Okay. Opening it up. Any thoughts?
Uh, sorry, my heart.
Go ahead.
So the first line, I feel like, uh, I don't know if this makes any sense. But whenever, I feel like the words are not coming out of the page, if that makes any sense in the first line. Because when I'm looking at this, you're basically telling a story, to somebody in front of you about this whole beast that's in there. So I think a little bit more imagery in that first line,
Okay.
would really make that pop. um, but your delivery for all the 3 lines you've done is phenomenal. So yeah, keep that same pace going. Um,
I will say something I realized, and I don't mean this from like a director standpoint, but the nasally voice is difficult to maintain for me with a low pitch. And I think I need to just embrace that because I feel like I didn't hit it for that first line.
So what technique are you trying to do to get that nasally sound?
More just I don't
Just
know how
kinda
to
hold it?
I don't know how to answer that question, which is perhaps a problem in itself. But
Okay. Try this. Try this. Just for this next one, just let's see how it does. Just block off one of your nostrils. Just do whatever you're doing, but spend the entire time with one nostril blocked off. Right, left, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Let's just see
Were there
what let's see if that adds in the nice little bit of nasally flavor we're looking for here.
right? Got to get that flavor in there. Right.
So and that's the thing. So first off, for my feedback, um, middle line absolutely flawless. I would have you do nothing different. I don't think you need to retake it. The middle line
Okay.
you've got down and really truly fantastically down well. That first line, let's clarify who you're talking to. So who is it that you're like zoning this in on?
Um.
Okay,
I
let's give you a character then. So this character is a small child.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, this character maybe like let's think of like a teenage mouse, right? We'll throw that out there just for now, just so you have something to look at. Okay. Maybe has got like a nice little overcoat or something. We've had some reference images that were put up in the chat. We can use those for our character, but like maybe he's got like a little button up vest or something and a hat, right? We'll just make him look kind of adorable. Um, completely naive to the world. So you can come in and be really theatrical with it. They'll swarm you, they'll surround you and swarm you. Like you're closing in on him and he's like feeling the crush, like coming back in and sort of recoiling away from everything that you say. And then when he doesn't recover at the end, it should just be this like instant sobering moment. So
Okay.
while you're laughing, you're normally used to the laughing being the thing that sort of like clears up the air. Maybe with the other guys when you do when you pull off a joke, they just kind of like punch you in the arm or something like that. It's like get on with it, and that's kind of what you're normally used to. But this kid just has no idea, right?
Right.
Like you're terrifying, and it's just sitting there scared, huddled up, shivering, and there's suddenly like this sobering moment of right, like it's an actual situation. They think they looked like they didn't notice us, right? Like you're
Yeah.
awkwardly
Like quickly
trying
trying
to
to save face.
Yes, exactly. But I want to hear like the instant sobering up right at the very beginning of that. Like, it is okay. This actually is serious. Let's take it seriously. So,
Okay.
if you want to do the middle line, please do, to give yourself some reference. You've been doing it absolutely flawlessly, but yeah, give that top line again. Really, a lot of theatrics. This is a teenage kid who's completely scared of the world. You know, this tiny little field mouse doesn't know what's going on. So scare them.
Right. Okay.
Quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They surround ye and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have the manner for. You looked like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. Oh, they, they, they looked like they went that way. They looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
I'm getting a lot more panic than awkwardness in the last line.
That's pretty accurate. In this case, also, I lost where I was going with the words, like on the page. I just
Got
accidentally
it.
stopped reading on that last line.
Okay. Okay. Just give us an ABC take of the last line. Just really chew on that scene, because what I'm listening for, and again, somebody else can always throw something else in there, and you can do it during one of your ABC takes, is I would really like to hear you instantly sober up and just like, oh, like just
Okay.
the awkward trying to get a handle on things.
I feel like one of the directions could be is like, that first line, you're serious and you're telling this story and you're intimidating, like ghost story, like, ooh, trying to scare them, and then almost like half-heartedly try to bring that same vibe to that last line, right? Like you're trying to go back into that seriousness, but to provide that false or that sense of safety, right? But it stumbling a bit there, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Okay.
Third line, ABC take whenever you're ready.
They they looked like they went. They didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
I don't like holding my nose. Ah.
Uh, they, they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks. Uh, they, they, they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Andrew here. I'm on Team C for that one, but the
Quick
thing is,
question.
oh yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
Are you always sure when you say methinks?
Was I always sure?
Are you always sure when you say, I think, and then you don't give me you don't
Well,
give me any sound of any thinking, it's like, I don't know, just
well,
throwing it in there. You can throw it
I
out if you
was
wish.
aiming for this character purveying that they're sure, even if they're not. More of like a trying to put on a brave face sort of thing, rather than. That's a good point, though. I appreciate that. Okay.
Anyone else? No. Okay. Give us another take of the line 3 then, please.
Um, they, they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right, opening it up. What'd y'all think of that one?
Maybe I'm misremembering, but I feel like there was a bit more of an accent in the beginning. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so I feel like that we shifted focus, right? And so I feel like
We
that
did,
may have dropped.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The accent was not there. I wasn't really pushing for it because I can start to feel like a tickle in my throat, and I was trying to take it a little easier on my voice
Got
in
it.
this
Gotcha.
moment.
Okay.
Protect the pipes.
Yeah. All right. So then, if it is starting to do that for you, we'll not belabor the point anymore because you've given us a lot of really really good reads, and this is definitely getting very granular and very specific. But yeah, I like where I like where Jay's head is at with this one, and I think it could be that would be an interesting one to explore later on for sure. But we'll go ahead and move it along then, just to save your pipes.
All right, awesome. I do actually have to head out, but have a good
All
rest
right.
of stream, everybody.
Thank you
Always
so
fun to
much.
See
be
ya,
here.
Avalon.
All right, James, you're up.
Alrighty. Quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds. As vile and cruel as they be, they'll surround ye and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have manner for. You look like a scared babe! Oh, you should have seen your face, mate! uh, they, They looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right, opening
Where's
it
the
up.
nasally tone? Where's the
Oh, darn
nasally
it.
tone?
Oh,
Why
called
could I
out.
hear you clearly?
Yeah. Why are your face holes clear? Why?
I really liked the way you delivered that way methinks. I really liked the delivery of that. That you embodied what I feel like we're trying to go for there. Also, I don't know if it was the accent or what, but squawks said guacs, like almost like some guacamole
Oh,
or
okay.
something. So
It's
just
probably Discord. Discord likes to cut off the beginnings of some
oh,
words.
okay. Well, there you go. That's
Yeah, I thought it
possible.
was just his internet or something.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, acting wise, I loved all of it. I could see the scenes going on. I could see you kind of sobering up at the end there. I really, really like the way you approached it. But yeah, give us the nasally tone. That needs to be in this character.
Dang it. Okay.
All right, you're this close. You're this close. Now bridge the rest of that gap with the right character sound.
It's funny because I had it in my head right before I unmuted to do the nasal, and it just went away.
That
All right.
unmute magic, you know.
Yeah. Magic.
It's like Mucinex.
Try the old plug nose trick. Quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds. As vile and cruel as they be, they'll surround ye and swarm ye. Any beasts they don't have manner for. Babe! Oh, you should have seen your face, mate. uh, they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right, it's on you guys now. What did you think of that one?
Why are you cheating?
Why are you cheating?
Why you still cheating?
I think on the third line, I think you should on the third line because you're kind of like making trying to like make something up on your head, if that makes any sense. So
Mhm.
it's like, they look like they didn't notice us and disappeared, and then just you know trying to convince everybody that yeah, they probably did disappear. This is the way. So just you're just trying to be evasive of people looking at you, depending on you being a leader when you don't know what you're doing. So I think that was a. I think that's I think give it a try if I feel like that'll help with that read on the last one.
So did it sound like I was making it too obvious that I didn't know, like I was trying to make it sound like I was covering it up, or it didn't sound enough like I was?
This is just my take on it, but when I heard you do it, it just felt like it was more like, oh, they look like they disappeared. Like it was like I don't know if the I don't care was the word to say it, but it just felt like um
Dismissive?
it was very it felt dismissive when I heard him when you made that delivery. So I feel like if you just
Okay.
be like, oh, I'm just making this up and I'm just trying to avoid get off the attention off you. So
So make it sound more reassuring, maybe?
No,
That's kinda what it sounds like. I
less
guess I'm
confident.
less confident.
A lot less
Okay.
confident.
Other than that, everything looks good.
Alright. Anything else? Okay. Uh, they looked like they, didn't notice us, and, they, uh, they they disappeared. Yeah. That way, methinks.
I like that one actually.
Thanks.
One of the only other things that I might say is I liked that take, but that way methinks, if just for funsies, if you wanted to be like that way methinks, like a
Okay.
starker contrast between the two,
Right.
like almost like methinks is really to yourself, like
Right.
Yeah, I
Okay.
felt that it was a little too stumbly.
Okay.
Because there's kind of this fine line that you ride in between being somewhat stumbly and being more confident, right? And the stumbliness for me was a little on the excessive side.
Okay.
I'd like to hear you bring that down a little bit. They looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks. Like bring the stumbliness down a little bit. You're just trying to come up with something quick to cover yourself. It's like, oh, I didn't mean to make this kid cry. Whoops.
Right. Alright. Uh, they looked like they, didn't notice us and, disappeared. That way! Methinks.
All right, what do you guys think? Got a thumbs up from Caitlin over there. And Brian.
2 thumbs up.
Oh, wait, does it recognize the
Golf clap.
It takes a while.
Oh, it does? Hang on, do you have to contrast
Just hold it there and it'll pop out eventually.
my thumbs do
Or
weird
not.
things though. Like that's my thumbs up. Like that's really hard.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no. Brian's got a cheat code. It's working for
I
him.
don't know what I'm doing.
Here's mine thumbs up.
Will it even work? I don't even know. Okay, I don't know. Whatever. It works for Brian, but apparently nobody else. All right.
Tell us
Yeah.
your secrets.
Yeah. Yes, James, tell us your secrets.
No, not me.
Speaking of secrets, I'm going to brag a little bit since James is one of our supporters on Coffee. He's
I
landed
don't
a
even
super
want it,
secret
yeah.
project. So, yeah, James has got something fun in the works. Can't
I
quite talk about it
swarm
yet,
you.
but we'll figure it out later.
Legally obligated to not say anything.
Yeah. But anyway, James, I think you gave us an absolute fantastic job. All right.
Thanks,
Let's
everybody.
go
I got to
ahead.
head out too.
Yeah.
All right, take it easy, James.
See you,
All
James.
right. Up next, Voices by Michael, also known as Mike.
All
A
right.
pretend usurper to the Mike throne.
Pretend usurper. There can be only one.
There can be
Till
only one
death.
Michael. Michael.
I'm the Carmichael now. If you choose Carmichael, I switch to Carmichael until you run out of names.
All right, whenever you're ready.
All right.
Quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have the manner for.
You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. Uh, uh, they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
Yeah, you got to breathe in after that take. All right, opening it up. Unlike your nasal passages, what do y'all think?
I can breathe again.
Yeah.
What was your scene for the last line?
Trying to do a similar thing. Go like, oh shit, like this is looking bad on me. Try and get the distraction off me and as nonchalantly as possible.
All right. Then I think it could, since you're just trying to go straight and have it as one big scene, is what I'm understanding, right?
Yeah.
Then if we're gonna go from the laughing to the maybe we have just a little bit of the laughter with the first and then when you get to the they is when it falls off because it feels a little sudden.
Okay. Meld them together better.
Hmm. But overall, I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, much like Chris Hemsworth as Thor in the very first Thor movie. Another!
Bring me another. All right. Do you want to start me to do it from the beginning or just from that second line
From the
onward?
top. From the top.
Quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have the manner for.
You look like a scared babe. You should have seen the look on your face, mate. They they look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right, what'd y'all think of that one?
Personally, I think you might have overcorrected a little from Andrew's guidance. I think the laughing held a little too long in there because if I heard correctly, you're going with like you're caught in the act. There's some superior who's like, "Hey, get on your shit," rather than, "Oh no, I'm sorry, I hurt your feelings." Am I right about that?
Correct. I'm more like, oh crap, I don't want to get in trouble.
Yeah. So I think maybe like some laughing as you are getting caught, and that's where you're saying but then once you get past the stuttering that you have there, just like cut it off. Maybe put in like a swallow or something like, "Oh no, I got caught. I better clean up."
All right. So right after the second
Yeah.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready. From the top.
All
right. Quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have the manner for.
You look like a scared babe. You should have seen the look on your face, mate. They they look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right. How about this one? What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I liked that a lot.
Yeah. I think we got a really good. Yeah, thank you, Andrew. I think we got a really good set of takes from you with a wide variety of situations. So yeah, you did an absolutely fantastic job, and I think we're good to move along.
All right, cool. Thank you very much.
No problemo. Hey, let me tell you though, big improvements. Big improvements I'm noticing so far. I know you haven't been with us for super long, but your sense of scene in this, night and day difference
I'm
from when you
much
first
better
joined
with
us.
characters. I like the accents. That's maybe why. And
Well, the
pirate
other
one, I
thing
feel
is
like I do well with too.
the thing is that comfort seems to also translate over into actually like paying attention to what's happening around your character and who you're interacting with, because you were given just a little bit of direction with a completely new character you were talking, or a different character you were talking to, and you were able to really take hold of that much easier. We just need to transfer that to some other facets of voiceover, but we're working on it, right?
All right. I appreciate all your help since I even started here like 2 weeks ago.
All right, moving right along. It looks like Justin is not with us, so we're going to move along to Roddy.
How am I gonna do this? Yeah, hold up. This is yeah. All right. Oi, 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 oi! Quiet, quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and as cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye. Any beast they be. Damn. Oi, oi, oi! Quiet, quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have the manner for. you, you look like a scared babe. Oh, you should have seen your face, mate. uh, 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 they, uh, they look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right, open feedback time. What did y'all think?
I really like how you on the second line, how you brought it back down. Like you should have seen your face, mate. Like, ooh, like I'm just like cracking myself, having a moment to yourself. I really like that, especially if it was like self satisfaction, right? That you got him good. That was played very nice.
Wanted that to transition into the third line.
Anyone else? Okay. So, Roddy, how comfortable are you with that accent?
Not at all.
Okay. Okay.
But it did grow onto me over a while.
Okay.
While I
It's
was
still cutting
recording.
out. You're still dropping it. So be real careful on that.
Yeah,
What is your overall scene? What's happening in here from beginning to end?
I played on the person that I'm talking to being a child, like 11.
Okay.
Their curiosity getting the better of them. Like I was saying in the whole introduction thing, we're looking at something, but they like go too far up to where they're visible. I'm trying to bring them back down, explaining them, kind of adapting what who was it? Was it Caitlin that talked about the whole ghost story kind of thing? Yeah, I was playing on that a bit to try to spook them. And then when I realized I spooked them after the whole second line with spooking them, they looked like they were slightly on the brink of tears, so I'm trying to play it off.
Okay. And you're stringing all of this together as one big long scene.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, now if you feel that the accent is growing on you, why don't you go ahead and give us another read with it this time, all the way through.
Gotta maintain. Oi, 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 oi! Quiet! Squawks be wild birds, as vile and as Oi, oi, oi! Quiet! Squawks be wild birds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye, any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scarred babe, man. Oh, you should have seen your face, mate. They look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
Okay. Better this time around, but you missed war. Wild war birds.
Okay.
Anybody else? Anything else? What did you guys notice? Feedback, please.
Can I get some separation between lines 2 and 3? You've got. I know we're tying them all together into one scene, but imagine there's a paragraph break in there that's telling you how the boy reacted, since that's the scene that you've chosen. Give me the second line all the way through, cut your laughter, tell me, and then show me how the third line is going to come in and evolve.
All right. Second line to the end, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Separate 2 and 3. Cut off laughter. React to the boy. You look like a scarred babe. Oh, you should have seen your face, mate. They look like they just uh they look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. Yeah, that way methinks.
Headphones on, feedback out. What did y'all think?
I think you did a good job separating them. I wasn't trying to like take away all of the laughter from the third line. I just wanted to hear how you would separate them. I think that you did the third line great. I liked your addition of the word "yeah," just like throwing that in there to kind of communicate that your character is making this up as they go. I appreciated that. I don't know that it's 100% the right option, but improv is generally accepted.
It was an option.
It worked for me.
Again, during an audition, fine, absolutely, go for it. During the actual work itself, you stick to the script.
Right.
But yeah, overall, much more improved. Definitely.
Appreciate it.
Does anybody else have anything they'd like to say? Okay, then we're moving along to BVJ.
Quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye, squawk, and swarm ye, squawk. Any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face. Oh, 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 he's leaking. What had happened was they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. Onward, that way, methinks.
All right, opening it up. What did you all think of that read?
Liked the addition of the squawks in the first paragraph to basically try to add more on to talking to your partner in terms of trying to scare them. Would be interesting to see if you could add a bit more space between paragraph one, well, line one and line two.
I do like the squawks as a character choice. I don't necessarily think they fit the context. Though it is possible to, since we don't have the context, we can change the narrative. If he's saying quiet like shut up, stop interrupting me, then that's one thing. But what we've gathered from this scene as a whole is that we're trying to say the birds are approaching, they are threatening us, be quiet or they will hear you, and then you continue to scream your entire line. I'm not sure that that fits in that context.
My context is we are nowhere near the squawks.
Okay.
Yeah. The way
Then you
I
can
saw
do
it
whatever.
was that this is like the war room, and they're like preparing for war whenever it gets the birds, and it was like he's like quiet. He's like a bunch of rabble rousing, rabble, and he's like quiet, like everyone listen to me.
So in that
Just
case,
a wee bit of PTSD at the end because I start squawking.
is the second line still connected to the first, because you've just removed the idea that you were playing up the birds as a joke?
No.
Okay, so it's an entirely separate scene there.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that works then. Since this doesn't say that they are the same scene, if you were doing them as separate, yeah, you just made a really, really big character that worked for you.
I think in that case, I would just try to make sure that it sounds like you're talking to like an audience sort of thing. Like you're trying to get everyone's attention, you know.
So if this character is the quietest of the three of these weasels, then the other ones are really loud then, aren't they?
Yeah, that's true though. That is true. This guy
Other ones
maybe
are-
isn't necessarily like a boss person.
Yeah. So here's the thing, Jay. You gave us a really, really fun and really engaging, like bombastic character read. Let's see if we can't. Let's see what you can do by intentionally limiting your volume. I want you to bring everything down, but I want you to keep the same emotional intensity. I want to see what you can do while keeping that restraint on yourself of lower volume.
Okay. Quiet. Listen, bitches. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye, any beast they don't have the mana for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face. Oh, oh, you're leaking. They looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinkies.
All right, opening it up. What did y'all think of that take?
In a word, unhinged.
It's one of them days.
Or as you were moving towards, unhinged.
Jay, is it ever not one of those days for you?
No. A lot going on over here.
All good, I hope.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else? Any thoughts? Any inputs? Any changes? Any direction? Anything?
Was the volume where you needed it to be?
Yes, indeed it was. And the thing is though, I don't know if you were going to end off with that character, in the position that they were in at the end. I would have liked for you to have added some more of that kind of feel and flavor towards the beginning as well, to keep the character really consistent. Because it seemed like you were just getting more and more into it as you were going along. I just want to hear you like same style of read, same thing, like keep the volume constraint down, because again, one of the main things of this character is quietest of the three. I think we might have. Did anybody catch any of the nasaliness, or did have I? Am I the only one who lost that? I don't think I heard any of the nasaliness that time.
I didn't hear any nasally.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do another read. Same sort of scene, nasaliness, but be that sort of unhinged from the get-go.
Oh my goodness. Quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye, any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face. I should have seen it. Oh, awkward. They looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. All good. That way, methinks.
All right. I got a lot more of the don't care shipped it. Yep. Yeah, got a lot more of that from the very beginning through the whole thing. Really, really great keeping that character consistent throughout the whole thing and setting up each individual scene with its own overall goal and flavor. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Really solid read there, Jay. Thank you.
Alrighty.
All right. Moving right along to Shapeshifter. Whenever you're ready.
Alright. Okay.
Why am I getting
Why
an
am I getting an
echo?
echo? Oh, is it echoing?
Mr. Mike. Yeah.
I'm hearing
one.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. Yeah,
okay.
it's just the way Shapeshifter stuff is set up. Go ahead.
Is it? Should I change it or?
Turn your volume down and then read.
Okay.
I think it's only when one of us talks while her mic is picking it up, so you should be fine on your own. You're not echoing.
Quiet! You hear that? You better be careful around these parts, boyo. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye, any beast they don't have the manner for. What's the matter, boyo? You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. Oh. Oh, no worries, lad. They looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right, opening it up. What did y'all think of that read?
I think the second line was my favorite because I liked the mocking tone. I feel like for me, for 3, I think that you could because it sounds like you wanted to be scared, and so you were stuttering a lot to kind of convey that. But I think that you could um, put more into that. And then for the first line, um, I'm not sure. I couldn't really tell what direction you wanted to go. Of like, were you trying to kind of scare, like warn people or scare people, or is it kind of more matter of fact? Are you scared? Like, there's just a lot of nuance there that I think that you have room to play with, and really kind of clarify what your intentions are there. But I like the voice.
Okay. Anybody else?
A bit too much ad lib. Like in between, it was like in between the lines specifically at the beginning. Well, not specifically at the beginning. No, no, no. Yeah, try not to ad lib too much specifically for this kind of thing. It's good to have a lead in, but like there was also some towards the end.
Like, which ad lib do you think wasn't needed?
I want to say right before the last. Well, hold up. Were all of them connected?
Yes, they're like the three lines should all be like I intended for them to be connected.
Probably the last one. Right before the last line.
Also, the last line.
Before the when you were saying they when you were trying to comfort them, I think.
Okay, okay, okay.
Anybody else? All right, let's hear it again whenever you're ready.
All right.
Quiet! You hear that? Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye, and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have the mana for.
What's the matter, boyo? You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate.
They look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
Okay.
Okay.
Opening it up. Does anybody have any feedback? I've got some ideas.
I like the first line better. I think for me it worked. It felt more decisive, I guess. Second line was fun. Third line for me, it felt like you went through the scene too quickly. And so I didn't really feel anything.
You see, I didn't get a lot of awkwardness at the end. I got panicky. That's what I think you're displaying at the very last line. Is just you get panicky when it should just be like, oh, how do I deal with this situation right now? You just don't. You're trying to come up with something, and you're a little uncomfortable. But you're not like panicking to get through the whole thing. So, again, this is more like you're just trying to come up with something on the fly. Yeah, that.
I think it's a very like Jack Sparrow sort of thing of just like he messed up and then just kind of winging it and like
yeah. Yeah, yeah. That last
Like
line is not.
you'll see him like pointing in the direction, and then like you'll see him like trundling off, and then he'll like go off the other direction or whatever. Like you could, like.
I can just imagine part of the comedy of the scene is like he's kind of pointing off in that direction. That way, methinks, and you see like the birds flying up in this direction over here.
Yeah, the other way.
You
Yeah,
know,
exactly.
just something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to hear you be uncomfortable but not panicky for that last line. It's really the main thing I want to hear.
All right,
Anybody else?
I think, yeah, I think the idea is that you're trying to sound like you know what you're doing, but you have no idea what you're doing. So it's like you're trying to fill in the space.
Okay. Should I do the entire thing all over again or just the third line?
I think you
I
could
think you could just do the
line.
third line. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. Uh, 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 they, wait, again. Like,
If you need to do
If
the
you need to
previous
do the
line to give
previous
yourself
line
a
to give
lead in,
yourself a lead
that's
in,
perfectly
that's
fine.
perfectly fine.
okay. I think I'll just start from the beginning so I can. Quiet! You hear that? Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye, and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have the mana for. That oil! You look like a scared babe! I should have seen your face, mate! Uh, uh, um, they, they look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
Okay, opening it up. What did you all think?
I just want to say I love the unhinged laugh in the second line. I think I said it earlier. That's some primo giggling. That's good. It's a good unhinged laugh. Love that.
Thank you.
I think the last scene sounded better. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think, Michael? The only thing I can maybe think is like the beginning is maybe a little too slow and
Yeah.
stammery. I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
think it is. But the thing is that I don't know if that's really enough to go for a major retake because the rest of the line kind of hit what we were going for, which is the whole I'm trying to come up with something off the top of my head right at the moment, and this is the best I've got. So, considering that was the goal we were going for, and that's what you hit, shapeshifter, I think we're pretty good. I think we can go ahead and move along actually. So, unless somebody has anything else they'd like to hear from shapeshifter, let's go ahead and move it along. Amanda, you're up.
Quiet. Squawks be wild world birds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround you and swarm you. Any beast they don't have the mana for.
You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. They looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right, opening it up. What did you all think of that one?
I think you can slow it down just a touch and be in it.
So you don't
Okay.
really think I'm involved in the scene? Okay.
Yeah, I
like
mean, you were way too fast going through this. I like your choice there, but I need you to enjoy your choice and not just tick the box and move on.
Yeah, yeah.
And keep in mind what Michael said very early on in this is that this is apparently for an audiobook, which means that people may be listening while they're doing other things, or they may be listening because they can't read for whatever reason. You know, maybe they have bad eyesight or whatever. It's good to keep things nice and slow for someone who's listening to an audiobook, so that they don't have to rewind and go, what did they say?
Right. So basically, what you're saying is I need to go a little slower. Okay.
Yes.
Noted.
Yeah, and I think that's really it. You see, you weren't not invested in the scenes. You definitely were, and you made some strong choices throughout. I actually really like the acting choices that you made. But yeah, you just
Thank you.
blasted right through them. So you need to slow it down and bring us into the scene with you. Control this time. This is your time to shine, and we're here to listen to you. So take the time you need. Yeah, I would say the only thing you really need to do is just slow it down.
Okay.
I have
do
a
it.
teaching tool if you'd like to me to.
Brian, you're coming through really quiet. Can you turn up your gain a little bit?
Oh, is that the wrong one? Testing one,
There we
two,
go.
three.
There we go.
Okay,
Sorry.
I
So what did you have to
accidentally.
say?
There's a teaching tool if you wanna try it out. And the one that I've been told to help slow me down is read like a 5-year-old. So, what I mean by that is use your finger and just basically point at the words while you're reading it, just to help you slow down
Oh.
the read a little bit. So give that a try, see if that works. It's not for everybody, but it's definitely helped me along the way if I ever read too fast.
Oh, okay. Got it.
All right, from the top,
Quiet.
whenever you're ready.
Quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround you and swarm you. Any beast they don't have the manner for.
You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. Uh, uh, they look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. Way methinks.
All right. Feedback time. What did y'all think of that one?
I personally like the first lines. Yours has been one of my favorite actually like deliveries as far as like you get real low and then that last part of it, and any beast that, you kind of come in a little bit stronger there to really drive home that point. I felt like you encapsulated, at least in my mind, like the very ghost story esque, feel that I personally really like. So kudos on that one.
Thank you. That was exactly my intent. Thank you.
Yeah, really enjoyed your choices here. I assessed investment, which was good.
Thank you.
Yeah, solid delivery. Again, the only thing you needed to do was slow it down. Everything else you had in the bag.
Thank you so much.
All right. Anybody else before we move it along? Cool. Fantastic job. We are now moving on to Cassidy.
Quiet! Hawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. They, they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
Alrighty then. Opening it up.
I think this one had the most nasally quality to it that I've heard, which is pretty good. You sounded like you were going for a lot more like a tepid, very like scared, meek and a characterization
Well,
into the
that
situation.
could have just been my insecurity about like not having done an accent in front of people.
Whoa, no, Dan ruling here. Didn't ask for it. Alright.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, I think it works.
I'm not sure. I'm gonna do my best to give constructive feedback, but the second line, "You look like a scared babe," I feel like there could be something more to that, like more mocking, a little bit more scathing, like it kind of just sounds like you exclaimed it, right? Because the exclamation point. But really, like, think about whenever you're ribbing some of your friends, or something, like, channel that, like, like, get really ridiculous, like you were cracking yourself up. Like, there needs to be a little bit more mockingness, I feel like, in that first line. So if you could ham that up a little bit more, I think that would really strengthen that second.
Yeah, and I guess I want to point something out here. Nobody mentioned a thing about the accent. The accent was not a problem whatsoever.
Oh.
It wasn't a problem.
I
The
think
main thing that
you made were
is
good.
is sorry, go ahead.
I think the choices you made were good. So, yeah, I wouldn't second guess at all.
Yeah. So don't second guess about the accent. You've got that down. Just play with it. With this next one, though, yeah, I agree. I think with that middle line, just um, don't worry so much about the accent. Focus more on the scene. You're making fun of this person, and you're laughing about it.
Okay.
So, whenever you're ready, from the top.
When you say from the top, do you mean like redo all the lines, or?
Yeah. Whole thing.
Okay.
Put it all together.
Quiet! Quarks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have the manner for. He looks like a scared babe. You should have seen the look on your face, mate. They, they look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
Okay. Opening it up. How was that read this time?
I think it's mainly the same thing that Amanda was going through. It's just fast. It's just very fast through the scenes. I think you're making good decisions, but yeah, maybe your nerves are kind of getting you to rush through the scene. So just take your time.
But all in all, when it comes to the actual like mocking of the second line or some of the other things, what did you guys think of the actual acting decisions on this one?
I feel like whenever you go, sorry, Alex. I feel like whenever you go into that, again, you should have seen your face, mate. Like, that's I jive with that. But that first one, it's almost like it feels restrained a little bit. Like you're almost like you're trying to balance the accent with coming in with that kind of persona, like that you're making fun of someone. So, like Michael had said, if that's the case, like, just channel you yourself again, like ribbing with somebody and everything. And or maybe you don't do that often, I don't know, but I feel like that still needs a little bit more mocking bite.
To agree with Caitlin there. Sorry, Alex.
That's okay. I just want to say in the second line, it sounds like you are afraid to raise the volume or fully emote. It sounds like that emotion in the second line of laughing at their misfortune just isn't coming through, and it sounds like it's timidness that's holding you back.
Okay. Brian, did you have something to say?
I do have to agree with Caitlin there because in the second line, I do agree. I feel like there's a bit of a pushback in that second line there. This is just a suggestion, but like to make it more pop a little bit more, use your hands. Like make fun of somebody, like pretend you're pointing at somebody. I think that the more you use your body, the more your voice will guide. The more when you move your body, your voice will lead to it, to what you're reacting to. So if when you have that reaction, using your hands or your body, it'll come out more naturally.
What are you thinking?
Mostly I'm just, well, thinking things I shouldn't really be saying here.
Well, I mean, they're already on your mind, but if you don't want to talk about them, okay, totally understand. But here's the thing. Again, um, your first line, absolutely fine. Your last line, really, really good. The accent, not a problem. I love the nasaliness that you're adding. Um, I'm I'm guessing then that you don't really have kind of like a sort of like jokingly make fun of each other relationship with your friends all that much, or your siblings or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. But so then we need to link this to something. Um, just pretend pretend you're playing a schoolyard bully right at that point. Just go with the just turn that up a little bit, and yeah, turn up the schoolyard bully. Just some whatever first comes to your mind. Go with that, and then slow down your pace just a little bit, just that we can follow along with what you're saying. So just give us the middle line whenever you're ready. Would you like to skip? Are you feeling too nervous?
Yes.
Okay, no problem. Still though, I think in general you gave us some really, really good stuff. We can workshop that middle line at a different time. All right, moving right along. Caitlin, you're up.
Okay, let me cover y'all's faces up and unmute myself. Okay. Quiet! Squawks be wild warbird, as vile and cruel as they be. Now, in swarm, any beast they don't have the matter for. You look like a scared babe! you, you should have seen your face, mate! they, they look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right. What'd you all think of that one?
All right. What was your intention on that last line?
I was going for more like I started reading the room after laughing, and I'm frustrated that they didn't and nobody else got the joke. Nobody else was in on the joke, and didn't join in like, oh yeah, oh man, you got us. Basically, I'm trying to play down like squawks are wild warbirds and they are dangerous, but they're not as dangerous as you think. So I was messing with them, and then in that last line, I was more like, okay, great. You didn't get the joke. Oh, they're not here anymore. Like they went that way. Like, let's continue. Let's move on from that.
All right, then yeah, that came through.
Yeah, I was about to say the last line definitely sounded more annoyed, but glad to know that's what you were going for.
Yes.
Well, let's alter that. I want to hear you sound awkward in that situation with that last line. Like this is a situation you just never been in before, and instead of being annoyed, you just caught off guard. Again, deer caught in the headlights.
Okay. Do you want me to do so from the top, or you want me to just do the?
Of course, from the top. You
I,
put the
you
whole thing
know.
together. You put the whole thing together.
Okay. Oh man, you're gonna throw me for a little loop-de-loop here. Let's see how it goes. Okay, hold on. Cover y'all's faces up again. That really helps, actually.
Quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds. Vile, cruel as they be, they'll surround you and swarm you. Any beast they don't have the matter for.
You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. They they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right, opening it up. What did you all think of that one?
I like your choices on the third line there. It made to me it sounds natural, and just you were just flabbergasted, and you're just you're like, oh my gosh, this is what happened. This is what's going on, but not really. But yeah, it's I like the reaction that you did with that. So
Thank you.
Yeah, Caitlin, it's a little difficult to throw a curveball at you, isn't it? Let's see. Okay.
So what y'all are saying is I should be a career weasel animation voice.
No,
Yes, please.
what I am saying is for this next read, cap the volume.
What do you mean? Blaine.
What I mean is choose choose an upper volume level that is lower than what you gave this one through the laughs or through anything else that you did, and stay below that.
Okay.
Just keep it
So
quieter. Because again,
so-
this character is the quietest of the three.
Okay. Okay.
I want to hear someone being intentionally quiet
Okay.
with this whole thing. Still emotionally expressive, just not loud.
Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see what we can do then. All right. Also, if there's anyone who has anywhere remotely close to an accent like this, I'm sorry. It's a mishmash of. Never mind. I'm going to continue with my read. So.
Nephilim rule violation.
Yep. Throw
Remember,
it up.
no, this is a fantasy story. You're not trying to go for accuracy. This is fun.
That's fair.
Okay.
Okay.
Walks be wild warbirds. Vile, cruel as be. They'll surround and swarm. Any beast don't manner for.
You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate.
They look. They didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, many thanks.
Okay. And what did you guys think of that take?
You were cutting out like crazy
Oh, shucks.
at the beginning and end.
Maybe I should have zone one. Maybe I should have zone one it.
Yeah.
Well, the parts that y'all did here.
The parts that came through, I think you did great.
I did.
Genuinely.
I was quieter. So.
Yes, you were. You were kind of relying a little bit on getting a little bit whispery with what you were saying rather than just speaking quieter.
Yeah.
So I think Zone 1 may have helped out with that because you were still trying to do all of the exact same expressions, just try to intentionally keep the volume down so you got a little breathy with everything.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the real challenge. What I mean is have the same kind of range of expression, but at a quieter speaking tone, not whispering.
Mm-hmm.
That was the challenge.
Yeah, and a challenge it is indeed.
Good, good. Well, you're not going until you do it.
Okay. Oh boy.
One more read. Come on, you got this.
The whisperiness got my throat all discombobulated. Okay, let's go.
Quiet. Waxby Wild Warp is violent cruelly hound ye and sworn ye. Waxby Wild Warp violent cruel as be. Hound ye and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have the mana for. You, you look like a scared babe. Oh, you should have seen your face, mate. uh, they, they, uh, they look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
Caitlin, first off, good job from what we could hear. Secondly, your noise gate is just too low.
Oh, darn.
So under user settings, if you go to voice and video, there's a little slider. It says input sensitivity. Turn off automatically determine if that's on, and just slide that yellow bar way down low. Way, way down low, because it's going to cut off all sounds that fall below that range.
It was at like negative 60, something like that. But now it's like, yeah, it's way over here. Like, can you hear this?
Yes, yes, yeah, it's coming through much better. It's not gating your performance now. All right. Well, anyway, though, yeah, no, you successfully completed the challenge, so hats off to you.
Thanks. Oh, thank you, thank you. Much appreciated.
All right, moving right along over to Brian. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. You said to try to just plug like one nose. Okay.
Yeah, that's a technique that you could use.
I'm gonna try it out. I've never done that before.
Quiet. Squawks be wild, war birds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround you and swarm you. Any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. Hey, they look like they didn't notice us and they disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right, opening it up. What did you guys think of that read?
What was your intention for the last line?
It was more like my character is really panicked, and I'm like, they're looking at me like, what's going on? Because I basically am leading them to something, and I have no idea what's going on, and being a know-it-all. So, yeah, just like, yeah, this is what's going on. Yeah, we'll go this way.
Okay, so you actually are suggesting a direction for them to go rather than just saying, like, oh, they're gone. Probably somewhere over there.
Yeah.
Okay. That came through.
Thank you.
Now that I've like changed these settings, I'm I'm afraid I'm gonna like blast y'all's ear holes, as I so eloquently said before. So on the first line, I see Andrew typing away over there. So on that first line, you start out real quiet and everything, but then you bring it up, right? And I know that you're trying to bring up the intensity to like bring in that like I'm trying to scare you and intimidate you and that sort of thing. But again, if you're telling them to be quiet, like try to still manifest that, you know, uh, menacing nature without bringing up the volume. Like I think you
Okay.
could still express that, and keep you're being covert and you know, ooky spooky and all that kind of good stuff.
Okay.
Um, I feel like I feel like a lot of us have delivered that second line relatively like kind of the same. And so I'm curious, I want to challenge you to deliver that in a different way, whether that's like adding a knee slap, like you know what I mean? Like you're like smacking your own knee, like laughing, or like
Okay.
a more wheezy laugh somewhere. I don't know. Make it make it different.
Different.
You
Okay.
delivered it well, but I'm just, being a
Oh, I have a
little
good one.
mischief
Okay.
maker myself.
I think I
You're
have a good one.
being mischievous.
Yes.
All right. Let's hear it, Brian.
All right, here we go.
Shh, quiet. Squawks be wild war birds, as vile and cruel as they be. They surround ye and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. uh, uh, they, uh, they look like they didn't notice and they disappeared. Yeah, that way, methinks.
Okay, thoughts?
I unmuted to say something and now I completely lost my train of thought.
Oh
Once the
no.
mute button gets hit,
I
the brain stops working. It
yeah,
happens to
it's
everybody.
the
It's like walking
unmute
through a
magic.
doorway.
Yep. Yeah. It's like when you go downstairs for something and you forgot why you were there. Why did I walk into this room again?
100%.
Well, then the best way to figure out what you were going to say is to mute back up because it's immediately going to hit you. Holy crap! It happened to me too.
Oh no.
Mute
Oh
up.
no.
So, okay, I know what I was gonna say. So, I said the whole like I'm gonna challenge you to do the second line differently. What was your plan going into it? Like tell
uh,
me what you know what I mean? Like you're like, ooh, I have an idea for that. Cause I don't maybe it's just because cut out a little bit. So I'm not the only one of these problems, but it cut out a little bit like during the laughing portions. And so
okay.
maybe I missed something, but I want to know what that spark of like was before you
Oh,
did the
it's
take.
basically like making fun of somebody, but more in a more comical kind of way. So, my first take was basically, just uh teasing them, but mine was more I did a more hysterical approach on the second take.
What would you think of like the you look like a scared babe, like you look like a scared babe, like a little baby, like being a little bit more condescendingly mocking or something. I don't know if that's gonna fit the
I
character
can
that
do
you
that for
want
you
to
if you want.
do, but just just to like I said, kind of break it up a little bit because I feel like we've all gone down that same road to some extent, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
sure.
they're all to
Yeah,
a little bit different, but
yeah, I can do that for you.
yep.
Alrighty then. Whenever you're ready, let's hear it.
Oh, okay. I thought I got more feedback. All right.
Quiet. Squawks be wild war birds, as vile and cruel as they be. They surround ye, then swarm ye. Any beast they don't have the manner for. Oh, you look like a scared babe. You should have seen the look in your face, mate. Uh, uh, they, uh, they look like they didn't notice us and they disappeared. That way, methinks.
Disagree with me, anybody, please, if you feel this way, but I feel like the last line is just too cartoony.
Okay.
It moves way too far into the cartoony.
I agree.
Yeah, it's just you immediately become this sort of almost blathering mess. No, it's just awkward, right? It's so bring that emotional space way down to more of like to be more grounded with it. That's my main thing.
Okay. Did you want me to pick up on the last line there?
Sure, but before that, does anybody else have anything they'd like to say? Any input?
Not that I don't. It doesn't say it. I don't think, right? But I don't know if we were supposed to know the context that this was for an audiobook. Was that supposed to be omitted, right? Like, were we supposed to just be doing charactery things, or should we keep that in mind now that we do have that information? Because again, that was the whole like slow down thing, right? So that those who are listening to it, I don't want that to change a take if that's not what it's intended to do. But
Why? What are you thinking?
no, just kind of like piggybacking on what you had been saying, right? With it being a little too quick, a little too cartoony. But
Carney.
yeah,
Just a Todd Carney there, huh?
just a wee bit carny. Okay, anyway, gonna yep.
If you feel that the read is too quick, then I would say that. But so the thing is in the actual audition itself, it's like the only thing that's given is the character, and I'm assuming they want you to play the character as creatively as you want to, but it's always a good idea to not be too fast, unless it's specifically asking you to be very quick. It's always a good idea to slow things down and just kind of own the time that you're performing. So, yeah, I want you to bring that last line down to be a bit more grounded.
More grounded? Okay.
Yes,
Sure.
whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Uh, uh, they, uh, they look like they didn't notice and they disappeared. They look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
Yeah, and you see, that could have still worked with the character overall. It could have absolutely still worked with that same character, just much more grounded, much more down to earth. I like that one.
Oh, for sure.
Opening it up to you guys, though. What did you guys think? Got it. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I think the last line was more believable rather than a hard sell cartoony take.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, for sure. I'm open to any feedback. So like, yeah, cartoony or whatever. Yeah, I'm open to any direction you guys.
See, the thing is I think with the character that you're going for, I think you finally put it all together here. I think it was just that last line that was mostly the outlier. So,
sure.
yeah, that was really solid.
Thank you, guys.
No problem. All right, moving along to me. All right.
Quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround you and swarm you, any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. Ah, you should have seen the look on your face, mate. They looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right, opening it up.
Did you connect passages 2 and 3?
I attempted to, yes.
Okay, I need a little bit more of a transition, but it was way too, a little too abrupt for the laughing and moving into the third passage.
Got it. Okay. Okay. All right. Anything else?
There was a bit of a laugh in line 3 around that way that I think feels out of place if you're trying to do a tonal shift there. Either what we've had so far has largely been either you're changing to awkward and in trouble, or kind of trying to put someone at ease that the danger is gone, and neither of those really lend themselves to additional laughing unless you're a nervous laugher. Did you have a different premise in mind?
No, I was attempting to diffuse the situation.
Okay. To
Okay, so there was
me,
a
that
laugh
laugh
there.
didn't work.
Okay. Okay. All right. Anything else?
I don't know. I still kind of like the nanny nanny boo boo tone. Kind of like that. I thought it was unique.
That was a fun addition to the second line.
All right. Well, so I need to smooth out the transition from 2 to 3, and no nervous laugh on that way. All right.
Shh, quiet. Quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround you and swarm you, any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. Oh, you should have seen your face, mate. Hey, is it? Oh, they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
I like the way that you transitioned from line 2 to 3. I feel like you can push it further by letting us hear you come up with an idea at the beginning of the third line. When it gets to they looked like, I think that you can have a realization right there, and then
Okay, I think I see where you're going with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Anything else?
I think in the third line, I wouldn't put a question mark on methinks, just because after like when reading the line there, you want to sound like you're sure about, you know, what you're saying, if that makes any.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anything else? Cool. Let's do this.
Shh, quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround you and swarm you, any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen the look on your face, mate. They looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
Great voice, great accent. I loved the corrections.
Yeah, I agree with him. You got the direction really well.
Okay, so that added all together?
Yeah.
For me, that was great. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, for me too.
All right, then let's move it right along. Over to Faith.
Hi.
All right.
And it's
whenever
back
you're
to
ready.
being nervous again, which
You
I
got
shouldn't
this.
be.
You got this. Don't even sweat it. You've got this. Whenever you're ready.
Deep breaths. Quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen the look on your face, mate. They look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right, opening it up. What do you guys think of Faith's read?
That was excellent. I don't think you should be nervous at all. You've got some natural ability for sure, and like it definitely shows. You did a great job.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you
Of
definitely
course.
did.
With that being said, no.
With that said.
No, I'm just kidding. No, but that first line, I liked your delivery, but it was almost like any beast they don't have the manner for. It was almost like your menacing tone didn't carry all the way through there.
Ooh.
So like it dropped off literally, I feel like in the last like 3 words. And, maybe not such a huge deal, but keep that going, keep that same tone and, menacing nature going all throughout it. Like kind of like when you're running a sprint, you got to run all the way through the finish line. So do that, keep that there.
Okay. Quick question, Faith, just so I know where you're at
Yes?
and we know how to work things around you because it's your first time with us.
Yes.
How much voiceover experience do you have?
I just started late last year.
Okay. Okay.
And I've been attending similar reads to this.
Okay. Have you gotten any kind of coaching or training or anything like that along the way?
I've had one one-on-one coaching session and similar group reads like this.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, what kind of voiceover do you want to get into? Do you want to do more of the theatrical stuff, or do you want to do more commercial stuff?
More of the theatrical stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you definitely have a good basis for that. Even though you were nervous, you worked through those nerves, and you gave us a pretty solid read. But I'd like for you to feel. I'd like to somehow get you to feel less like you have to be super stuck with specifically what the script says. I don't know exactly how to do that, and I'm going to be trying to come up with something. But you should feel free to go ahead and ad-lib a little bit, to add a little extra here or there, to feel your way through the scene, react to things how your character would react.
Okay.
So, for instance, at the beginning of the second line, do you just you immediately started laughing? You went into a full-on laugh. Is that how you think the character would react in that situation? They just instantly explode into laughter right at this person in their face.
That was what I was going for the first time.
Okay.
But should I try something different?
Well, I'm just asking. I'm just asking.
Yeah, that
your
was-
idea of this character, is that how they're going to react?
Yeah, like the person
Okay.
they're talking to just looks so scared and they just can't hold it in and they start laughing.
Okay, I'd like for you to just to show that a little bit more. Try holding it back a little bit, right? Like
Okay.
it comes through just a little bit, and then just let it go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what that does to your second line. Well, we're just going to worry about that for right now. Go ahead and read the first line to lead yourself into the second line, but don't read the third. We're just going to do the first and second.
Okay. Quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye, any beast they don't have the manner for. You should. Oh, you look like a scared babe. You should have seen the look on your face, mate.
Okay, opening it up. What do you guys think of that read?
Were you pinching your nose the first time that you read?
I was.
Okay. For some reason, I don't know what it is, but especially in that first line, it like as opposed to like one nostril, it definitely came out more like the double nostril. So I don't know if like maybe you were pressing in a different spot or something, but it definitely came out a little thicker on the last part of that first line. So I don't know what that adjustment is, or if you even remember where you'd pinched your nose.
I don't
first
know.
time.
I don't know. I don't think I did anything
Just going for
consciously
something.
different. Just
Of
did it.
right. I got you.
Another thing that you can do is try to find your nasal voice. I don't know whether Mike has told everybody how to do this. This is how I learned about it. You just put your hand on your nose and you just kind of move your voice around until you feel your nose vibrate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where your nasal voice is. And you don't have to put your hand over your noses, or put your what everybody else has been doing all night. Then you can sound nasally and you can be a little bit more clear, and it doesn't sound immediately like, oh, this person has something over their nose.
Okay.
Quick question for you, Faith.
Yes.
Were you looking down? Like, was your chin down a little bit? Because I noticed it when you were doing your read a little bit. I think that's
Ooh,
what Caitlin was
not
realizing that because
consciously.
no, that's okay. The reason why I'm asking is because as Caitlin said, it sounded more nasally than before. So maybe it's because you were tucking in your chin a little bit more, which is cutting a lot of air out of your throat. So if you lift up your throat a little bit, you'll project a little bit more. So yeah, if you lift up your chin, and do that nasal thing again, it should make a difference.
Okay.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and give us another take? Again, first and second lines.
All right. Quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. Harm ye, any beast of the manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate.
Okay. All
Not
right.
to break the Dan rule, I just totally lost where I was looking at the last time.
Oh, well, okay. No, that's not breaking the Dan rule because you weren't immediately criticizing your performance. And besides, losing your place happens. That's perfectly fine. But that's okay because you got through the whole script that we wanted you to. And actually, I think that was a really, really solid delivery in general.
Thank you.
So now what we're going to do is you can read the whole thing, and now that last part needs to be awkward. Not stumbly, don't get too cartoony with it, just awkward. Like, okay, the situation actually is not what I thought it was. Oh boy. Just let's hear things go from hilarious to awkward for you. So, whole thing, top to bottom.
Quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye, any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared the look on your face, May. uh, they, they look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right, now that it's all put together, what do you guys think of that read?
You're getting better. Once you calm it down, you'll be able to slow it down just a little bit and enjoy being connected to the scene.
And another thing too, just in general, like especially when we're doing this, there's been times when I myself get stuck in kind of like a muscle memory thing. Like either A, I've practiced the script too much, or B, I've said it the same way and I don't know how to get it out of my head. There just sometimes try delivering it completely differently. What was it? I think last time I had to deliver lines in a completely absurd manner, right?
It was a movie trailer. Movie trailer announcement.
Yes. And so it was completely not fitting for what we were doing, but it helped break up that muscle memory and help me kind of change that read, a lot more. So keep that in mind too. Just for, if you feel like you're getting stuck or you get feedback and not sure how to put it into practice, that's a really good way to do it too. So just a little something. But you did great. Like, I'm so happy that you joined us. Like, you've got some really good ability there.
Thank you.
I know everything you've done. I think you did a really awesome job. This is just me as, hearing as production wise. If for the third line, instead of just saying like the dragging the lines a little bit, so like they um for like the theater side, I would just keep those short instead of just saying like they just because when you think about it, when you read this, if you want to convince the people that you're trying to say something that's correct, but you just made it up literally. So yeah, if you keep those and those uhs short, um I think that will be really crisp, and you got the read right there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Another thing that you could do is just not take that literally. Because if you were going to read it literally, it's space. They space. They look like they didn't notice us. But what's really being asked of you? What's really being the intent for that is you're coming up with something. You're trying to make the connection so it sounds like you're figuring out what you want to say as you're saying it. So you could do that by linking the sounds together and dragging them out. They looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. You could do something like that, or oh, they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. Right, like the thing that you really need to communicate more than just the words that are there is the intent behind them. So in this next take, for this last one, you're really trying to figure out what you're going to say, right? Like, I want to hear your character struggling to come up with the right thing to say in this right situation.
Okay. So basically coming up with this whole thing, but as I'm saying it in the moment.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Okay. From the top?
From the top, put it all together.
Shh, quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye. Any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen the look on your face, May. They looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right, opening it up. How was that one?
I think that was really well done. You had the direction right there. You honestly, I don't have anything else to say, but really good job. You shortened those uhs and theys a little bit, almost there, but other than that, yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I mean, we could do a pattern break to see if we can get something different out of you from the very beginning. But the thing is the delivery's been relatively solid, and you actually had refined that the first sentence, the first line down to a really nice place where it actually sounded like you were kind of painting this scary picture. So I didn't really feel that it was super necessary. But yeah, no, fantastic job. I think we can go ahead and move it along.
Thank you.
All right, Alex, you are
Hello.
up.
Okay.
Quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ya and swarm ya, any beast they don't have the mana for. You look like a scared babe. you should have seen your face, mate. Oh. they they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right, opening it up. How was that one?
Let me just say that I really enjoyed that last line because of they looked like they did, you went very into like official mode. So the juxtaposition there, I really liked.
Anybody else? Any other thoughts? See me, I actually think you're getting a little loud.
Okay, yeah.
A little too loud for this particular character, in fact.
I think
like
you
the
and I have
enthusiasm.
different interpretations of this character.
We probably do, yeah.
When it says quietest of the three, I'm seeing that as not like volume-wise,
Relatively.
but in frequency of speech. That he doesn't speak up very often.
Okay.
Look at these semantics at play.
All right.
I can make it quieter though. Let me just turn my gain down and solve.
The only reason why I would argue for the actual like volume quieter is because I think a lot of people's initial reaction to this would be still like loud.
Sure.
I think a lot of them would probably, be really bombastic.
Okay.
And just as a differentiation, just to see. You know what? We'll see what it does to the read. If it doesn't work, we can go back to the old one. But just to see. Let's see the volume quieter on this one.
Happily. Anything else?
That's it.
For the quiet part, were you? I'm just curious. Were you telling a lot of people to be quiet, or is it just like a small group? I'm just trying to image what your delivery was for that.
My image is a single person, the cabin boy, essentially.
Okay, so kind of like just kind of a whisper kind of tone in a way, kind of like a loud whisper.
A dramatic one.
Okay, no, that's perfect. Okay, no, that's all I wanted to know.
Okay. All right, one more time. Being quiet the whole time. Quieter, at least.
Quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye, any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. Oh, yeah. They look like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
Okay. What did you guys think of that read? the quieter one.
It stays true to the script and its instructions. Um, for me, my nitpick is since, especially for the first line specifically, um, they are being surrounded by wild warbirds. These guys know that they're weasels, that they're prey to these things. So, um, um, I believe you can get away with a theater whisper for this one, and I would like to hear that kind of take specifically for the first line. The way you would deliver the second line, I enjoyed that little laugh you did at the start that lets you go through the rest of this line um, pretty well. And for the bottom line for me, I want to hear a little bit more uncertainty from a little scratch nose. But aside from that, these are all nitpicks, but they're very good. They're very good takes nonetheless.
All right. I can do a stage whisper for that first line.
Yeah, let's see what it does.
Yeah, I'll try. If you don't mind, I'm going to try something else on the second line as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ya and swarm ya, any beast they don't have the mana for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. They they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
I'm seeing images of a little rat character and somebody exclaiming for the rats.
I saw the scene in my head too. I saw an annoying little gremlin of a rat just trying to ask his friends to calm down. It was a good
Well,
scene the way he stringed it.
I was referred to his character sample that he's putting together. He uses a very similar voice for one of the characters.
really?
Which is a little rat character. Yep. But the thing, I loved what you did there. I love the transition from the low whisper into the actual laugh. I think that was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I don't know. Does anybody have anything they'd like to say? I'm pretty happy with it because it's a wide variety of stuff you could have sent in. You had the louder take, which was still solid. You had the quieter take, which was also solid. The stage whisper leading into the laugh. All of it was really solid. So I think you've got some good variety there. But I'm wondering if anybody else is hearing something or would like to hear something that I didn't catch.
I really liked your second line that you gave. That was something I never expected. So, I think no, you nailed that on that really well. So, yeah, really good job, man. All those
right,
three
thank you.
takes that you gave.
The second the second line, yes. Like that was that was really really good. the I don't think this is necessary. It's just my commentary.
Okay.
But the very last line of the first line, so they'll surround you and swarm you, any beast they don't have the manner for. I feel like again, a lot of us have been trapped in the same kind of cadence, and it just doesn't sound. I don't know. Even whenever I say it in my head, I break it up this way. But they'll surround you and swarm you, any beast that. I feel like that could be there could be different pauses or something there that would break that up. Again, this is not necessary, and I'm kind of just thinking out loud for myself. But
Here's an idea. Here's a thought to break that one up a little bit. Build up the tension. So what I mean by that is, like quiet, squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. You say that, and then the little, the cabin boy's looking over at you like, what? And then you're like, oh, I've got his attention now. They'll surround ye and swarm ye, any beast they don't have the manner for. Right? Like close in on, like I want to hear you like closing the walls in on him. You know what I mean?
you.
Huh.
That's it.
Just to see, I
Clickbait
want to know what
them.
your take on something like that is, but yeah, just really like build it up and close the walls in.
Let me try that first line.
Okay.
Real quick.
Quiet! Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ye and swarm ye any beast they don't have the manner for.
So I changed the pauses to like crescendos.
Yeah.
That was a good pattern break.
That was
That
good.
worked for me.
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Um, uh, I don't know surround. I would put emphasis on surround. It's just that's just my point of view. But yeah, swarm and what did you put on? I think you said beast on that one as well. So yeah, but you put that intensity into the read that it just made, like I always say, you took the words out of the script. So
All right. Thank you.
I would have liked to hear a little bit more of a gap between the two because you kind of blended it all together. It was a touch fast, but overall, I loved the changes that you added into it. I'm just nitpicking at this point.
Okay.
But overall, yeah, no, fantastic variety that we got out of you.
Awesome. Thanks for the
So I
direction.
think we can go ahead and move it along to Andrew now.
Oh, hi there.
Andrew, good sir, it is your turn.
All right, I guess y'all can see my pretty mug. We're gonna take a tip out of Caitlin's book and cover the screen, cover all y'all's pretty faces.
It helps me so much.
Quiet, squawks, quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround ya and swarm ya, any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your faces made. uh, they, uh, they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right, opening it up. What did you guys think of that take?
I thought you also delivered gave a varied delivery on that first line with especially that last sentence. So I really enjoyed that. What's it called? The last line.
Mm-hmm.
What vibe were you going for?
Um, that one is a different scene, at least in my breakdown, to the other two lines. That scene is the constable or guard of this town that they've stopped in has come by the ship. They're hiding the little Johnny down in the brig, and he's trying to get the guard to just keep moving.
Okay. I feel like if that's what you're gonna go for, I feel like there needs to be more urgency, like a
All right.
cool urgency, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I mean that might kind of clash with one another, but I feel like you might know what I mean. If you
Yeah,
don't,
yeah.
let me know and I'll
Mm-hmm.
try to describe it more. But I feel like that needs a lot more of that cool urgency if that's what you're gonna go for. So
All right.
bring that up.
All right. Anything on the first two lines?
Let's see if you do what I noticed again before we give any feedback, at least from me. I don't know about anybody else.
How cryptic.
Oh, oh, I know. Whenever you're ready, Andrew, from the top.
Oh no, now I'm scared. All right. Quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround you and swarm you. Any beast they don't have the manner for. You look like a scared babe. You should have seen your face, mate. Uh, they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
Okay. Before I say my piece, what do you guys think?
Oh
Opening it up.
no, I did it again.
Oh, nobody has anything to say. Okay.
I was
Okay.
perfect.
Your character's too nice. You're just a very nice pirate.
I just thought that's what he was going for.
No, it's a continued problem.
Were you
that
trying to
my
be
friends-
nice?
Not
Or you just
necessarily. I
are?
mean, I wasn't going for evil.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, I was going for more of like the mentor figure who likes to play tricks on the younger pirates.
Then I
Mhm.
think that came through.
And I think you. Oh, okay, I think you need to
But-
sound more skeevy then, or more conniving. Right now, you sound too genuine.
I have a suggestion for you.
Mm-hmm.
Make yourself make yourself a big person. So you put your shoulders up a little bit and just the more you lift up your shoulders, the more bigger your body is, and that should help you out with getting that big energy,
Big what?
bad energy.
Big bad what?
Big.
Yeah.
Oh no, not the E word.
What is that? What? I'm sorry. What?
Roddy opening up his camera right on it.
I don't know what I said, but okay.
Energy.
Energy. We do not use
Oh.
energy
We do not
as
use the word
direction.
energy here.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah, I completely forgot about that. Okay.
I mean, the guy who the rule's named after is even in here, which is hilarious. So, yes, energy is a generic and non-specific direction that doesn't give somebody much meat to bite into, much to really work on. So we
Gotcha.
avoid thank you. Yes, we avoid using it because it's not very helpful in most cases. It's just kind of it's basically the same as asking somebody to do something different, or it gives you more of a thing. Like literally, that's all it really says is like a thing. It's just too unspecific. So,
Oh, I never thought about it that way. Okay, no, I appreciate you saying that to me. So yeah.
yeah, the thing is, it's super common in the voiceover world, and you're gonna run into it all over the place, and that's that's perfectly fine. We do things differently here just because we're just a different section of the voiceover world. But yeah, I feel that as an actor, I really want to get very specific feedback. I need to know exactly what it is that somebody expects of me. So when somebody says, "I need more energy," what have they just asked you to change? Like, what specifically do you do when somebody asks you for more energy? Okay, you could read faster. You could read more bombastically. You could be loud. All of those are more energy. It's unspecific. So that's really it.
Okay, let me rephrase that then.
Yeah.
What I meant by that is like, using the body to put more loudness into that and more having that bold kind of approach to that. So give that give that a shot. So see if that works for you. Because I do hear that from Michael, that you do sound nice. So if you put that more of approach into the read with your body language, should pop out more.
Then I might need to change my character real quick. Because here's the descriptors I have for him. Calm Mr. Mentor character.
Oh, so you're going for a mentor?
Mm-hmm.
So this is like a haze?
Yeah, it's kind of like this is the mentor character. He takes care of the younger pirates, but he couldn't pass up this joke.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I can change that up if we want more anger, though.
He can be that, but before being a mentor, he's a pirate. See, he's got to have some kind of a gruff side to him to be a pirate. So if he's gonna pull that little prank, he's gonna put on the character of the big bad gruff pirate. You can have him break that at some point, but it has to be there.
All right.
Again, why don't you try what I asked Alex to do earlier? Just build it up. As vile and cruel as they be, they'll surround ye and swarm ye. Like almost like that schoolyard bully kind of feel.
Mm-hmm.
Just play that up real high.
Oh no, that's what I was going for. Okay, we'll do it even more.
There you go.
More of that. Let's see. Let's do a little bit of change up the script as well. And we'll do that. Quiet. Squawks be wild warbirds, as vile and cruel as they be. They'll surround you and swarm you. Any beast they don't have the manner for. You looked like a scared babe. You should have seen your face. Uh, they, uh, they looked like they didn't notice us and disappeared. That way, methinks.
All right, opening it up. What'd y'all think there? How was that one?
Much better.
I liked it.
All right,
Any other thoughts? Anybody else? Okay. All right. That's all the input you're going to get, apparently.
It just means I'm perfect.
Well, the thing is yeah, you did get. I feel a little loud with that first one, but with the way you transitioned from that scene to the second line, I think it kind of worked actually, because you were like quiet, and you catch them off guard. Those wild warbirds, well, and then you start building it up, and then you break it, and then you break out into laughter. I actually really liked that whole scene, that transition, everything. I feel that really worked together.
Well, thank you.
But so your character's the mentor, but they're definitely not the captain, right?
Mm-mm.
Okay. So and if this was your goal, congratulations, you hit it. If not, then let me know what you were thinking of. But for the very last line, I got the captain walks in while you're scaring him, or comes up to you and he's like, "What are you doing to this poor child?"
That is not what I was going for, but it works pretty closely to what I was going for.
Okay, what were you going for?
I was going for this pirate. What name did I give him? First Mate Kraken.
First Mate Kraken. Okay.
He comes down the gangplank onto this pier, and there is either a guard or the constable down there waiting for him, and he is hiding little Johnny in the brig, and so he's like,
okay,
"All right, nope, keep
yeah,
moving,
I remember
keep
now.
moving."
Okay, well, still, it was an authority figure that comes up, and that was okay. All right, yeah, that works. Yeah, I'm happy with it. I'm good with that. All right, and that brings us to the end of the streamed portion. 3 hours and 11 minutes later. So, thank you all so much for being here. Once again, I'd really like to thank all of our supporters. You've been seeing their names down below. If you'd like to support us, go to themiccheck.org/coffee, KO-FI, and we throw in some cool stuff with your support. Things like goal planning and stuff like that. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me directly. But you know where all the buttons are. They're all down below. Join us for this next time. And because again, we're doing characters this week. So once again, thank you all so much. And we will get to the people who didn't read with us or who joined after the cold reads right after we've wrapped up here. Right?
I just wanted to say thank you